If you're worried about lead contamination in your tap water, there's a chance to get some help from the city and the Boston Water and Sewer Commission. To tell us about the program that's recently been expanded is our guest from the commission, the Deputy Director of Communications, Dolores Randolph. Thank you very much for being with us, Dolores.
Thank you so much.
Dolores, I know we might be a far cry from Flint, but we do have some older houses in Boston, and I guess they might have a reason to be concerned.
Yes, Boston Water and Sewer actually has had a lead incentive replacement program since 2005, and since that time we've actually replaced 1,391 lead service lines, but there's more work to be done.
Now, I guess these are lines that would be mostly connected to housing built, what is it, before the 1940s?
Yes, in terms of the lines, that would be right. Estimates are around before the 1940s and 50s. It varies.
Now, a lot of people watching tonight might say, well, I don't taste anything in the water, and if it is contaminated, why should I be worried about that?
Well, if it's contaminated, all the experts tell you that there are some health concerns that you should be worried about. And so basically, we're not the health experts, we're not the epidemiologists, but as parents and as concerned citizens, we want to make sure that our residents are having healthy water.
And I guess one of the other things here that is important to note that the lead isn't always from the service lines necessarily. It could be from the soldering in the pipes further into the house, and maybe even if the house isn't all that old, it could be an issue.
Yes, absolutely. That's why at the end of the day, it's important if there is a concern specifically about the water, even if it's not necessarily the lead service line, it could be something else, is to get your water tested. And that can be done by any DEP, Department of Environmental Protection, certified lab.
Right, and is this something that usually costs that much money, would you say?
Yes, I would say that costs vary. I wouldn't say that much. The average is about $20.
But on the other hand, if you're worried that your children might be drinking this water, and even if only a small amount of lead could be a problem for a child, I guess it's worth $20.
Absolutely, I would say.
So what kind of help is the city offering?
Well, the city, under the Mayor Walsh and the Board of Commissioners, really urged Boston Water and Sewer to, even though we've been doing this since 2005, what more can we do to really encourage property owners to get their lead lines replaced? It's something that people don't think of because, nothing's broken. There's nothing necessarily to fix. But it's important in that really for health and safety reasons. So up until now, we have given up to $1,000 for property owners to get their lead service lines replaced. Now, with the expanded program, not only did the amount increase, we're offering up to $2,000 towards replacement of these service lines, but also we're expanding the property eligibility. In other words, not just 1, 2, and 3 residential homes would be eligible. Any home is eligible, whether it's residential or commercial or if it's large. It's just so long as it's a 2-inch or smaller lead line, they'd be eligible for the program.
Now, does this mean that this is an owner-occupied property, or could it be also an investor-owned property?
Yep, investor-owned, owner, all property.
Do you have any idea how much it costs to have work like this done?
Yes, the cost does vary from depending on the property, depending on the setbacks, and any other variables that might be. But the average cost is somewhere between $2,500 and $3,000, $2,500, that is.
Now, you might also have some people, maybe they're older people on fixed incomes, they may say, well, I'd like to have this done, but I don't have that kind of cash. Is there some other way to make that work?
I think that, one, the $2,000 certainly would go a long way towards the cost, but any remainder of the cost can be spread out really over 4 years. The previous program allowed you to spread it out over 2 years. This expanded program increases that amount of time. So really we try to make it spread out on the water bill.
Right. Well, finally, we should mention that if people are interested in exploring this and maybe eventually getting it done, what's the best first step?
Well, the best first step is to give a call to Boston Water and Sewer Commission. We have a lead hotline. The number is 617-989-7888. You can also access our information on the website. It's www.bwsc.org.
Thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Dolores Randolph from the Boston Water and Sewer Commission.